that voicemail over again. Can't think of nothing better. It's like you never left.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm super excited to talk today about recording vocals on a budget. I'm going to walk you through the setup of my vocal chain that I use super often. And the spirit of this video is really just to show you that you do not need an insane budget to get an awesome vocal sound. I'm going to walk you through my exact vocal mic chain and budget that I use all the time. If you're new here, I'm Logan Murphy. I'm a producer, songwriter, mixer, and musician living in Nashville, Tennessee. I've worked with a ton of artists in my career and also have a handful of projects in the sync licensing space. I feel like this is a perfect video and setup for someone looking to get into outboard gear and hardware, but maybe you just need some recommendations and some insight on a starter budget. So for me personally, I'm a drummer first, and I think because of that, when I started my production journey, I just needed lots of good mics fast and for not a lot of money. And so I feel like that kind of forced me into finding quality but budget mics that I could mic a kit with that sometimes needs 10 or 12 mics depending on, the scenario. So even with this little gear breakdown, that was a lot of my thought process. I needed a lot of mics and a lot of channels with not a whole lot of money, and I needed it pretty fast. So in my opinion, this is a really palatable start financially to someone looking to get a really solid vocal chain for not a lot of money. And in my opinion, a vocal chain starts with 3 primary elements. That is your source, which is going to be the microphone. Second is your preamp, and third is going to be compression. So I have a handful of different vocal mics that I'll use in different scenarios, but the one I'm going to talk about today is the one that I used in this song, and so I feel like that'll be the most true demonstration for what I'm going to show today. So first up in my chain is the Warm Audio 47 FET. This mic is just a few years old, and it is just absolutely incredible for the budget. This mic comes in at $599 retail, and used you can find them in the low 400s sometimes. This mic is extremely versatile. I use it for so many different vibes. It sounds phenomenal on acoustic guitar and just really works with a ton of different kind of voices. Now, second up in my chain, I'm using the SSL VHD preamp. Now, I don't know for sure if they still make the quad unit. I feel like they only do the single strips or the 500 series strips, but I found mine used on Reverb a handful of years ago for around $1,300, I believe. I know the single channel 500 series run for around $600, but for the sake of this budget breakdown, with me paying $1,300 for my 4-channel unit, we're just gonna divide that by 4 and call the single preamp within the unit $325 in this scenario. And this thing is just super fun and versatile as well. The VHD knob switches between transistors, and you can actually mix in how much character of each of those you want. So all the way to the left, I know, is like a smoother, more round sound, while going all the way to the right is more aggressive, punchy. So mixing between those two is really fun, along with the input and the trim. You can just get some really cool character stuff by pushing stuff really hard if you want, and it's just super fun to play with. And third in my chain, I have the Klark Teknic KT2A compressor. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I bought this, it was really an experiment. I feel like for how cheap they are, I was just like, you know what? I'll spend a few $100 and just try this thing out. I don't have high hopes, but I don't have any outboard compressors, so I'm like, might as well give it a shot. And let me tell you, I was honestly blown away. I got the 2A and I tried it for a day or two and instantly bought a second 2A and then a stereo pair of the 76s, and honestly, just freaking love them. I've put the 2A up against the Audioskate 2A and the Warm Audio 2A, and honestly, it holds up for a third or even a fourth of the price. Another reason they're really cool, a traditional 2A is a 3-unit rack space, while these are only a 2-unit rack space, so I just feel like it really frees up the desk by saving me 2 rack space units with the 2As. So I just personally feel like with these used options and these budget options, there really is no right or wrong way to do this. If it sounds good, in my opinion, you're doing it right. And I would just say being well acquainted and knowing your gear really well sometimes even trumps having really nice gear. So now that we've broken down my vocal chain a good bit, I thought it could just be fun to show you the vocal chain in the context of a song. So let's move into Pro Tools and I'll just kind of show you what I'm doing, post capture on some of the mix side. All right, guys, yeah, so just wanted to jump into Pro Tools here for a minute and just kind of show you the vocal in the context of a song. I finished this one just a few months ago and used the exact vocal chain that I just walked through. So I'll go ahead and play just a little bit of this song, and we can just kind of A-B the raw vocal and my processing and how it fits in context to the song. So here we go.
Laying awake, I replay that voicemail over again. Can't think of nothing better. It's like you never left. Replays in my mind, 'cause you're only living in my head. Can't think of nothing better. Trying not to forget. No, 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 no. Trying not to forget.
Yeah, so in my opinion, it just really works in this context. It doesn't feel like we're cheating getting this pop vocal sound. It just really feels natural and definitely doesn't feel like a more budget vocal chain approach. So I'll just play back and forth here. I'll play some of the raw vocal and then just a little bit with my chain so you can get some context for, you know, how it sounded going just right in and then kind of where I took it. So yeah, here's just the solo vocal completely raw.
Laying awake, I replay that voicemail over again. Can't think of nothing better. It's like you never left. Replays in my mind, 'cause you're only living in my head. Can't think of nothing better. Trying not to forget.
Yeah, so honestly, you know, turning my vocal processing like on and off, there's definitely like things I'm cleaning up and some character choices with some saturation and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really staying pretty true to the capture. And I really do think that speaks for itself with this more like clean, polished band pop sound, not having to jump through absolute hurdles to get there with my capture. And like I said earlier, it really does just start with the source. And so I feel like the performance is there and the capture is there. So then in post, I'm really only doing the fun things. You know, I'm not like fighting frequencies and trying to fix a whole lot of problems. I just get to have fun with it on the back end. And so yeah, I wasn't planning on going like super deep into the Pro Tools side here. I just wanted to show you kind of like A and B, my vocal chain in context of a song, raw and then processed. If you're looking to start your outboard journey or looking for, you know, a starter vocal mic, I feel like this video is just a really fun example of being able to get things at a really high level for not a whole lot of money, $1,300 for the entire vocal chain. You know, when you put it in context of maybe one solid vocal mic costing much more than $1,300. This video is super fun for me to make and was even just kind of a reminder for myself, you know, like I maybe have more humble gear than a lot of studios and other home studios, but honestly, I just feel like there's some great quality stuff that doesn't absolutely break the bank. Yeah, and I just wanted to wrap up the video just saying thank you so much for the overwhelming love and support, even on my first few videos. Starting this channel was really just a shot in the dark. I thought it was just something that might be fun to just get on here and yab about gear and my journey and production and mixing and so on. But it's really exciting to me that some of you, you know, find these videos really helpful, or they're finding you at the right time where you're trying to figure some of this stuff out for yourself. So thank you so much. And if you're new here and you wanted to like and subscribe, that would just really help me out and go a long way as I'm navigating YouTube in this weird little world. Next week, I'm gonna drop a really fun making of video, just going step by step on how I start a production and figure out what world I wanna live in for a song and kind of navigate those waters. So if you're interested in that, subscribe so you get notified. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Peace.